And a bada bing, bada boom, once again, it's BaltimoreDude right here on the mobile device. Let's do the damn thing. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of We Ain't Got Better Shit to Do. So let's talk about Rise of Iron. How about that? That's right around the corner. I strongly encourage you watch my previous video because it sets up this video. And it's a very important piece kind of telling you what we're doing here. So before we get started, let me ask you guys, please take the time to subscribe, drop a thumbs up, leave a comment. I will certainly answer you myself, and I would greatly appreciate that you guys do that. Now, as you know, I never do a script. I don't even do bullet points, but today is a little bit different, bro. I've done some bullet points because this is really a setup video. Now, as most of you know, our crew has been incredibly successful. All credit to the Destined Knights for being a bunch of animals when they get into the raids and the high-end content, because they are just insanely good when they get there. So credit to them for that. We would not have been able to achieve a pinch without that crew. So all credit to the Knights, and we will go ahead and get started. But real quick, I wanted to answer a question I promised I would answer in the last video. A lot of people have been like, hey Baltimore, if there's so much in this package, if it's so much content, if the graphics are so much better, why is the package smaller than Taken King that's going to be installed? Well, let me explain it to you with a metaphor, or illustration rather. You take a 5-gallon bucket, you've got diamonds in that bucket, which are small diamonds, and then you got the rest of it filled with marbles, which are much larger than the diamonds, but much lower in value. Now, Bungie had to take the rest of the diamonds and put them off to the side because the marbles were taking up so much space. Well, they dug all them marbles out, and they threw the rest of the diamonds in. So even though there's less in the bucket, there's much more value in the bucket. You see where I'm going with this? So when they shed the 360 and the PS3, they also shed the coding that was within Destiny for the 360 and the PS3, thereby making a smaller package, but a much higher quality package. So that answers your question as far as why is the package smaller. So let's go ahead and get into what this video is all about, and that is helping you guys be fueled and stocked to the teeth, ready for Rise of Iron, so you can go in like a mother bleeping boss and be ready to do the damn thing, you know? So we'll jump right into that and talk about all the things that we do as a crew, I do, and our highest end players do, to prepare for new content so we can walk in day one and be the very best we can be. So we'll go ahead and get into that. First of all, let's start real simple, Planetary Materials. And there's a number of ways you can attain these. And of course that's relic iron, helium, spin metal, spirit bloom. You want to have a whole bunch of this, upward of 1,000 of each, somewhere in that arena. And a lot of people say, I've got all these legendary marks, I don't know what to do with them. Go buy some Planetary Materials each day and do your dailies and replace them marks, and before you know it, your Planetary Materials have blossomed. Another very important and crucial thing that you have in your inventory is motes of light. Motes are used in a wide variety of ways, not the least of which is rolling your faction, leveling up your weapons and armor. So you want to have as many motes as you can. Now, when I shoot out a number, don't think that you're just totally screwed if you don't have that number. Do the best you can. I'm just giving you a number to shoot for. With motes of light, I would say try not to have not a single one under 500. I'd try to have more than that, but at the very, very least, try to have 500 motes of light because you're going to need them. And while we're mentioning factions, don't anybody think they're going to faction their way to the new light level, because word is, I know right now you can get within 5 of peak light, but it's not going to be like that. The word is they're going to cap the faction rolls off at 350. So whether that comes true or not, who knows, but you don't want to depend completely on factions to roll up your light, because you may end up with 30 helmets or 20 fusion rifles, and that's certainly not building a character to raid or to go out and do the quest, which is the ultimate goal, right? That's what we're all after. So you definitely want to make sure that you dip your toe in the water in a whole bunch of places. You want to, and I'm not saying don't use your faction. Definitely roll your faction some. I'm gonna as well. I'll probably put 2 or 3 rolls on each of my factions. And also get in them strikes, man. Work them strikes, work the raids. Get a little piece of the pie from everywhere to bring your light up, so you have a whole bunch of variety in your loadout. And I like to think of a moneymaker character, I call it. And what I will do is pick my favorite character. For me, it's the Titan. And I will focus all of my energy on the Titan hitting peak light, because then I've got a moneymaker. So I'll take my Titan to all the biggest events once he hits peak light, because he's going to get the higher light gear. But say he gets boots and he's already got boots. Well, hell, I'll carry them boots over to my Warlock and infuse them into my Warlock's boots. I don't know if you knew you can do that, but you can. You can carry Titan boots to the Warlock or the Hunter, chest pieces, and so on. You can very much do that. So always look for your money maker character. Weapon parts. A lot of people are just stacked with weapon parts and they don't know what to do with them. Again, when you go to roll your faction, I wouldn't depend on any one single thing to roll your faction. Use a variety of things. Use some motes, some heavy ammo, some weapon parts, so forth and so on. When you find that your glimmer is full, go spend some money with Banshee, buy weapon parts, spend it down to about 10-15 grand, because you will regenerate that glimmer and you'll be stacking weapon parts, which are of multiple values. So you've got these weapon parts you can use to roll factions, obviously to actually level your weapons up. So that's a way to make sure you're not missing out on actually making glimmer you could be making. So you've got a opening there to actually make glimmer where it's available for you to make, and you're stacking more weapon parts in doing so. Armor materials. Go to the court of Oryx, man. Do your strikes and make sure you break all that junk down you don't want and stack up armor materials. These are all things I would say try not to have less than 1,000 armor materials, and weapon parts for that matter. They're just very important things to have. Now I'm gonna do a full video on this, so I'll just briefly touch on it right now, but I strongly encourage you guys to not use 3 of coins the first month of your DLC, your Rise of Iron. And reason being, you want to make your content last, and you don't want to be like, oh, I remember that glorious moment I got my such and such from Sepkus Prime and I was like 400 lights over him. So I'm gonna do a video about that in the Kvostov. I can say that, I'm pretty sure. So I won't go too deep into that, but just briefly let me say, don't 3 of coin your way into ruining your DLC and cutting its lifespan short. And don't break down your Kvalstov. Boosters. Let's talk about boosters. We've got the House of Judgment boosters. We've got the Crucible boosters. We got the Vanguard. I say just stack up as many of them as you can. Don't go buy out. Don't go out and buy an armored truck full of silver to get boosters, but just hold on to them right now. Don't blow them all right now, so you have some stockpiled. And now we move on to a centerpiece topic: strange coins. There's not a whole lot Xur's bringing right now that any of us needs or wants. A little this and that. I've been using him to stockpile my heavy ammo because we've done the math and you get more bang for your buck with using heavy ammo to roll factions. And with the Galahorn coming back, I'm going to be using a lot of heavy ammo. So I've been using him for heavy ammo. And you want to start stockpiling your strange coins, and you can do that a number of ways by staying in the Strike playlist, staying in the Crucible playlist, do your Lord Shaxx bounties each week. He often gives you coins. Nightfall often gives you coins. And start stockpiling your coins because you're going to need a bunch of them. Now let's talk about the Court of Oryx. As far as I know, the current Court of Oryx is going to somewhat be a memory to those of us that are up to par and ready to go into Rise of Iron. But I would say, just in case, just to cover your booty, make sure you save some ruins, some 1, 2, and 3 tier tokens, so you can go in there and use them if you need to, or if they're usable in the new one, definitely. And it's on my list, so I'm gonna mention it again. Definitely stock up on heavy ammo, even if Xur don't have a single thing you want. Go over there and buy some heavy ammo each week. Personally, I'm at 1,500 packs. And that's where I want it to be. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm comfortable. That don't have to be your number. Do what you can, but I strongly encourage that you stock your heavy ammo without breaking your strange coins. Make sure you go in. If I'm giving a rough estimate on strange coins, I'd say try to have not a coin less than 200 going in. I'd say try to have a whole bunch more. Try to have upward of 500, 600 maybe. But at the very, very least, 200. So you're set going in. You can buy whatever you want from Xur in week 1 if he happens to have something you want. And let's talk about engrams, because people often have saved their engrams, and I never did it until the April update. I saved, I guess, about 10 engrams or something like that, and it helped me grow about 6 lights as soon as the update came in, turning them engrams in. Now typically they only turn into the old weapons. That's fine with me, but there's a possibility those old weapons could yield more light. So I would stockpile some of them. Don't go crazy with them. Turn a couple in, see what they do. If it really does nothing for you, then wait till you get some more light on you, then try a couple more and go that route with engrams. Now, stocking fuel. A lot of people keep saying, I have nothing to do in Destiny. I've done everything. I beat Oryx. I sucked Growth off. I blew a witch's clit. And, oh God, I'm supposed to be talking better. But anyway, a lot of people are saying, I've got nothing to do in Destiny. Yes, you do. Yes. Yes, you do. Stock your fuel. Take your moneymaker character. Go through the raid, do the strikes, hit the court. Make sure you're doing things so you have a stockpile of fuel. And I'll tell you why. We don't know what light things are going to come at when we go into this DLC. Like right now, we go to Banshee, we'll get, 280 or 290? So, let's say they bump that all the way up to 300. 320 even. Let's talk crazy and say 320. You can still use your fuel to bump that up to 335. So I say definitely stockpile 335 infusion fuel, nothing less. Anything 334 or below, I would just simply break it down if it's something you don't want, or infuse it up if it's something you want to keep. Legendary marks. Right before the DLC, I encourage you all to max out your legendary marks. Edge all of your factions. Try to get them all where there are a couple heavy ammo packages away from rolling, so you can walk into the tower or Feltwinter's Peak or wherever the hell we end up with that, and roll the factions very quickly. So you basically got a free roll right off the bat. So go ahead and edge all of your factions. At that point, make sure your glimmer is capped off or nearly capped off somewhere in that arena. And let's see what else we have. I wanted to talk to you about your builds, what you're building for. Don't think exotics in everything. Think raid. Because our DLC comes out on the 20th. On the 23rd comes our raid. Build yourself for the raid, and I encourage you to do 2 builds. I encourage you to do a legendary build, and I encourage you to do a build that includes your black spindle. So that will have you set so you're ready to go in, have a machine gun, have a rocket launcher, have a sniper with a couple burns, a couple different snipers, have maybe a scout rifle and an auto rifle on deck. Build yourself for the raid going into this. Because after all, isn't that what we're all about? I mean, we're all preparing for the raid. That's what those first few days are. So sit down, make yourself a list of these are the guns, my primary loadout that I want to take into the raid, I feel most comfortable with. This is my secondary list. This is my possible do if I can list. And sit down and map all those things out and make sure you're ready to go. Now let me mention another thing. Some people are saying, well, I'm 330, so I'm good to go. No, you're not. Light level is going up to, I believe, 385 to start, and then 400. You need to be 335. And there is no reason on God's green earth, with all the paths Bungie has given us to 335, that you not be 335 yet. So if you're not yet 335, take your booty to the raids, get in the challenges, get in the strike list, get over to the court of Oryx, get your stuff done, get to 335, because it is in fact crucial that you go into Rise of Iron as a max light 335. Now, a lot of people have asked me what is my light suggestion to go into the new raid. Initially, we had talked about 375. We actually dropped that to 370. That's a really hard answer to give, though, because that completely depends on your squad. Do you have a squad like the Destined Knights that play together each week, that know each other so well, down to the weapons we use, our strengths, our weaknesses? Do you have top tier players like we have our god tier players in this crew, and then we have our top tier? Do you have all those things? Your light really depends on that. We feel comfortable going in at 370. Of course we want to be higher. Well, I mean, we want to get as high as we can get. Don't we all? Like, you know? But anyway, We want to get our light as high as we can get it before we go in the raid, but we have set a minimum of 370 going into the new raid. And make sure all your last minute raid prep is done. Like, go over all your weapons, go and get on YouTube and look over every piece of film you can. Get together with your squad and try to strategize with as much as you know about the raid right now. Try to have a team that is well-rounded. 2-2-2 would be great. 2 warlocks, 2 hunters, 2 titans. If you can take a well-rounded team like that and really try to lay out a plan with as much as you know going in, you know you've got a well-rounded team. You've looked at the light, you've looked at all the video you've been able to attain, and you can go down there with a plan and a large arsenal if each person has followed these steps, and be ready to face whatever they throw at us in this raid. Because the word I'm hearing is this raid is more about your power than the mechanics. Of course there's mechanics like any Bungie raid, but I'm hearing that light is going to be a much bigger factor in this raid than it's ever been before, for 2 reasons. They want it to feel a great challenge when you first do it. They don't want you to beat it immediately. They want it to be a grind, harder, maybe harder than ever is what they're looking for. But they also want you to be rewarded. They also want to inspire you to hit peak light. So when you go through that raid after having put in many raids and you're peak light and you're geared out, you can roll through there and kick some ass going through there. They want you to have the reward of that you know, hey, I earned this light, I earned these weapons, and here's a payoff. I'm getting to go through here, gather even more gear, do more things with Siva, ornaments I pick up, whatever you happen to get in there. So I'm hearing that the drive is a bit different than it's ever been for any Bungie raid. So I would say definitely keep that in mind. Keep that at the top of your list with your squad as you head into the new raid. But most importantly, have a good time, man. Don't go down there bickering and throwing everyone under the bus. Don't yell at player B because he caused a wipe, because you might be the reason he causes a wipe the next time. Have fun. Real life is hard. Video games are supposed to be fun. So go down there, take your time, and have a great time. Now, as we're starting to round up this commentary, I do want to recommend that for those, well, oh god, I know I'm going to get hate mail, but for those of you that do buy silver, like myself, I encourage you to stock some silver, because Tess is obviously going to have a new inventory that will absolutely include ornaments, among other things. So you can earn everything she's got out in the world if you want, or you can buy some silver. I am fine with the silver. I always pick up some, an obnoxious sum of silver. Me and one of the players in my crew, one of our top tier admins, tend to go a little bit crazy with silver. But I would encourage you definitely have some silver as you head in. So that should really have you guys stocked up, set up, pumped up, motivated, ready to go. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, drop a comment, and before you leave, look at the Afterthoughts down in the description box. Yes, that's what it's called, a description box. Look at the Afterthoughts, because before I put a video up now, I try to have an Afterthoughts section, because inevitably, did my voice just crack? Let me see if my balls dropped. What am I, 16? So anyway, check out the Afterthoughts, because I always let something slip my mind, so I'm trying to do an afterthought section and add that to each video when I post it, so if I remember something, you guys can still be privy to that information. So I will say thank you guys for enduring such a long video. I hope it helps you in a multitude of ways, and I'll say good luck to you. I'll see you all on the 20th and especially the 23rd, and hopefully we'll run across each other in the tower. If we do, come on up, teabag me, be a dick, and say hello. I'm Baltimore Dude. Thanks for watching, guys.